Hey, last week we learned about making choices and how God gave us the 10 Commandments to help us make right choices. And we learned that when we make right choices, we're bright images of God, and when we make wrong choices, we're dimmed images. But these wrong choices, they have a name. They're called sin. So a sin is when we know something is wrong, we know we are not supposed to do it, and we do it anyway. It's different from an accident. Like if you accidentally fall down and bump into your sister and she gets hurt, that's not a sin. But if you push your sister down knowing it's wrong, that's a sin, right? When we sin, we hurt ourselves too. It's not a hurt on the outside on our body like a scraped knee or a busted finger. It's a hurt on the inside, on our souls. And when we choose sin, we also hurt other people because we don't show them love. And we disobey God. We don't show Him love. So sin is like the opposite of love. And when we sin, we aren't acting in the image of God, because remember, God is love. And so He made us in His image to love, not to sin. But sometimes all of us choose sin. Sometimes I choose sin. Sometimes your mom and your dad choose sin. Sometimes even Father Fred chooses sin. But we have choices to make every single day, right? And when we make the right choices, when we follow those 10 commandments that we learned, we are bright images of God. It's kind of like the sun shining brightly on a beautiful day. We can see clearly. Remember when I taught you how we were made in God's image and we looked in the mirror? When we follow the 10 commandments and make right choices, and we look in the mirror, you can see my image clearly, right? It's an easy image to see. It's clear. It's bright. That's what a right choice looks like. But when we make the wrong choice on purpose, when we sin, we are dimmed images of God, okay? And when we're dimmed images, it's kind of like on a cloudy day when the sun is being covered up by a cloud. You can still kind of see it, but it's hard to see, right? So let's see what a dimmed image looks like. Okay, now let's see if you can see me. I bet you can still see my image, but it's kind of blurry, right? It doesn't really look right. It's dimmed, it's blurry. And that's how we look when we choose sin, okay? And so we have the ability to choose between right and sin. And we can always come back to looking bright again, because God is always kind, and God is always loving, and God is always forgiving. And in a later lesson, we're going to learn more about forgiveness and how God forgives us from our sins. But for today, I want you to think about how you have that power to choose between right and wrong. And I want you to try and choose today all day long to be a bright image of God.